Grand Theft Auto 6 will be the most immersive Grand Theft Auto ever, and to show you why that is, I'm gonna list every single thing that we are able to do, what we know of, and what might be in the game.
I'm at a rare tip, tell them all just stand down to the cup goal and the stands clear. I've been out running, top gunning competition, they know who the man here. I can never fail, I can never fall, count it up without.
But before we move on, I just had to partner up with PureVPN, especially if you're in Europe right now. They're gonna mandate a age verification app on your phone, which will take away your privacy with the lie of it's good for the kids. Now, PureVPN is fantastic to bypass this and also safely roam the internet without your IP address and your location and all your passwords being hacked. And personally, I love to feel free roaming the internet. So if you want to do that too, you get 82% off and 3 extra months. Link is in the description. Just click this button and you'll be able to sign up, and you'll be helping out me and the channel and make all these videos. So thank you to PureVPN for sponsoring. Of course, we will start with the story mode, and from the trailers and screenshots, we know that this is gonna be a story about Jason and Lucia. Lucia's story starts in the prison, from what we know at least, and Jason's story starts in a brand new house in the Leonida Keys, provided by Brian Heather, as long as Jason is doing some errands for Brian. And so Jason and Lucia meets up. Lucia wants to get in some action, get some money, so they go and do a heist, rob a little store, and then they start getting into trouble and they travel all around Leonida, which is the map of Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, according to some leaks, the game allegedly features a story divided into 5 chapters, maybe with a prologue, maybe with an epilogue, but that's just kind of a rumor leak. We don't know if this is actually true. But one of the very interesting things is, because you're playing as Jason and Lucia, a man and a woman, instead of with GTA 5 where you had the 3 main protagonists, now you have dual protagonists. So some missions are started using both Jason and Lucia simultaneously, but other missions you might be able to play just with Jason and Lucia. You probably still have the switch wheel where you have 3 options, so you have Jason and Lucia, but you have a third option which is Jason and Lucia together, and you have like an AI companion. So if you're playing with Lucia, and Jason will just kind of be an NPC next to you, and you can give commands like start shooting those guys, and he'll follow you around and he'll just play along with whatever you're doing as Lucia, and vice versa as well. This is not only cool for missions, but it's very cool for free roam as well, where you can basically just do whatever, including dynamic robberies. So we've seen a lot of robberies already, both from the official footage and the leaked footage back in 2022, where Jason and Lucia are robbing Hank's Waffles Diner, and you can tie people up. The police doesn't storm in. There is some time for the police to actually get there, and then they'll stay outside because they don't know what the situation is. There's a hostage situation, so it's going to be very realistic, but we'll get to that a little bit later. And of course, because Jason and Lucia are a man and a woman, and we see them smooching a lot in trailer 2, like, even though we don't know if they have a history together or not, there is a character progression element with the relationship between the protagonists that are tracked via a relationship bar, kind of like the honor system in RDR2. So for example, if you go to the strip club as Jason and you get some dancers and Lucia starts noticing, that's not good, and this might have an impact on the ending of the story. We don't know how. Everybody has their own kind of theory about it, maybe like Bonnie and Clyde. I personally hope that there's gonna be just a go drive in the sunset ending, but knowing that it's GTA, I don't know. Now, of course, if you want to rob some places and be a criminal, Grand Theft Auto is a criminal simulator after all, Rockstar will need to build a good combat and weapon system, and this is totally overhauled compared to Grand Theft Auto 5. And with GTA 6, it's more of an evolution of what they did with Red Dead Redemption 2. For example, the weapon storage. Now we have a limited weapon system that is returning from RDR2, with extra weapons being stored in the trunk of vehicles, which is kind of similar to how Red Dead Redemption did it with the horse storage system. And now you can also carry weapons on your back. I think up to 2, like rifles or shotguns or whatever you want. RPGs, always gonna be fun. But that does mean that the NPCs, which we'll talk about later, not only notice sense that you have an RPG when you're holding it, but also when you're just carrying it. Normally in GTA 5, the NPCs didn't know what kind of weapons you carried. Little did they know, you carried unlimited weapons. You had like a minigun, a laser gun, everything, man. Now, a good weapon system is nothing without a good gore system. And luckily for you, Grand Theft Auto 6 utilizes advanced gore and dismemberment within a system that is built upon the mechanics of Red Dead Redemption 2. If you saw the leaks, there's this Port Gellhorn clip where Lucia is shooting at cops and you see the way that these feeling the force of these bullets. It's insane, and I hope it stays that way. It's not just something that they toned down after the leaks came out in the years after, up until release. Now, of course, if you don't want to use weapons and you want to be close up and take the soul out of an NPC, you also have melee combat, which we can see Lucia and Jason both use in very special ways. Lucia, in this screenshot, you can see that she's actually hitting the bags, and in this cage fighting scene you see that she is a kickboxer. Now, this lines up with her character description saying that her father taught her to fight while she was growing up in Liberty City as soon as Lucia could walk. And Jason comes from the army and he's just a badass. And personally, I think in terms of fighting styles, Jason is probably better at shooting, and so if you're playing as Lucia, you would have to go to ammunition and kind of do these shooting lessons and improve your shooting statistics so that you have less recoil and less sway if you're aiming. Maybe, this is my speculation. And if you're playing as Jason, you might want to go and find some combat gyms where you can train and learn cool combos that you use on your controller to actually fight in a cool fighting style like kickboxing or jiu-jitsu or whatever it is. Hopefully that will be the case. Most of you have played GTA San Andreas, so I don't have to explain to you how that works, but I do think that the fighting style mechanic can be improved upon, because if you haven't had a fighting style in San Andreas and you start learning kickboxing, for example, then your first fighting style is overwritten, so you cannot use that anymore. You can only do kickboxing. And then if you go to a different gym and you do Krav Maga or whatever that's called, then that style overrides what CJ learned about kickboxing, so you cannot do kickboxing anymore. So in GTA 6, I wish for there to be a feature where there is maybe even a kind of weapon wheel for the melee fighting styles or something. Maybe a little bit more intuitive, because I don't want to be fighting and then stop the whole game to choose a different fighting style. So maybe there's like buttons for this to be able to do this without a HUD like being in your face and freezing everything until you make a choice. But I would like for my characters to actually be utilizing their whole melee arsenal, and this would also be super dope in GTA Online if there is cage fighting, because then that really becomes a skillful game. There's a real meta to it. You need to be able to use the best of every fighting style, so that feature would be really dope. Enough about fighting though, let's talk about the NPC system. These people right here, they're so lovely. Are you checking me out? You can look, that's fine, but I do have a girlfriend, so watch out. RockstarGames has been the grand master of NPCs, especially flexing their system in Red Dead Redemption 2. And we're 8 years later now when GTA 6 comes out. So the whole system has been overhauled into a procedural, advanced NPC system that allows for more realistic behavior and reactions to the player's actions. The greed and antagonize system is coming back, and it's not just, hey partner, good day now, and then you walk away. No, it's gonna be an actual conversation that you can have. These NPCs will be way more in depth. There's a whole patent that came out about these NPCs, and every single one of them has their own personality type, their own choices and reasons for why they make different choices built into kind of their soul. So they all have a coded soul, and everything is connected to that. Also their animations, for example, the way they behave, the way they react to watching you walk around with a gun. Some people might not even be fazed because it's Florida, they've seen it all. When you punch somebody in the face with that cool little new kickboxing mechanic, of course you have the good old people running away, but there's also gonna be people watching, laughing, and even filming, because social media now is in the game, which is another huge, hey, he's on his phone, it's real, I'm not lying to you. It's a huge part of the game. Even that that guy, he's also on his phone. Social media is not really that social, huh? This also kind of integrates into the whole reputation system that you will have. You won't only have this Lucia and Jason relationship meter bar, there's gonna be a separate reputation system. Now, I have a little theory where I think that there's gonna be two separate instances of this. You have the local reputation system, so if you are in the Grass Rivers and you keep on killing people, the people that live there, the locals, start to resent you, start to not like you. But if you go to Vice City, everything there is fine, except if people film you do the crimes, because then you get an online reputation and the whole state, so no matter where you are, NPCs will look at you differently depending on your actions. So there's a local and a global NPC reputation system. And this all just goes to show how much of an open world sandbox experience Rockstar wants to make for you, where you can do whatever you want and the world will react to it. If you don't play the game, if you turn off your PS5 or your Xbox, you will still feel like the world will just keep continuing to live on forever. And now let's talk about the actual free roam activities that you can do if you're just chilling out in GTA 6. Now, Jason is a big fan of basketball. We also see this in this big Vice City shot where if you zoom in enough, you can see that Jason and Cal Hampton are actually playing basketball. So this is pretty much a confirmed feature. I wonder what the history is between Jason and Cal, because as you can see here, they also do fishing, they do a lot of activities together, and this means that you will be able to just call him up whenever you want in free roam, and if he's not busy, you'll be able to just chill out with him. And hopefully a feature of GTA 4 actually returns, where if you hang out with them like once or twice, it will actually give you something in return. In GTA 4, if you went bowling with Roman, he will call you a bit later and say, hey, I have a taxi company, you can use this taxi for free. Call me up if you need a taxi. And then if you did so, the guy driving was super pissed off at you because he didn't get paid for your ride. If you hang out with Lil Jacob, you could call him up later for a weapon van that had discounted and illegal weapons that they didn't just sell in the store. And I love those neat little features because it rewards you for just messing around in the game and having some fun. Of course, these activities also bring you some extra dialogue lines, which is dope, because then you get some more ideas of what these characters are up to outside their interactions with you as a player. Hunting is coming back from Red Dead Redemption 2, mainly in the Mount Calaga area for land animals and in the Grass Rivers area for river animals. And if you don't want to go and be all bloody, you can just go to the beach in Vice City where you can throw a ball or maybe even use a metal detector like Fat Jason. This is my Fat Jason theory. I'm not gonna get rid of it. He removed his tattoos. You can get fat in GTA 6 and Fat Jason is real, okay? And then when the sun goes down on the beach, you can go and live the nightlife where you can visit strip clubs such as the Jack of Hearts, which is owned by Booby Ike, or go to any other club in there where every day seemingly there are different activities like Sinful Sunday, etc, etc. And you can also do races off-road with the dirt bike or on-road with supercars, or going in a monster truck and drift around in the mud with the Mud Club. The possibilities are so endless, man. It's insane. And now that we're talking about vehicles, let's just go into the customization part of everything, because of course there is a upgraded car modding systems at the custom shop where extensive modifications options are available for cars, potentially boats, given that Brian's Marina is actually a works shop, and potentially even aircraft upgrades. Maybe you can make your buzzard golden like Yusuf Amir. Hopefully that would be dope. And the vehicle variety is gonna be absolutely insane too. We have swamp buggies, we have airboats. One thing I always loved about previous GTAs is the special feeling you get when you see a car that is already modded, just driven by an NPC who is just driving around, because it rarely happened in GTA 5, 4, San Andreas, and I would always get out of the car and just steal that thing right away. I don't even have to pay for the mods myself. Here it is, it's free, which I absolutely love, and I do think that is coming back big time in GTA 6, where especially in Vice City, you're gonna see modded vehicles all over the place. Just look at Le Pearl with this biker gang that I think is also from trailer 1. I mean, they are pimped out with their cars. And the modding scene is just absolutely amazing. Imagine doing car meets in GTA Online with how customizable these things are. It's insane. And that's not even all the customization. We haven't even talked about clothes, but the amount of clothing and tattoos and types of nails that we have seen in the trailers and the screenshots is absolutely insane. You can dye your hair. I've always said that the balcony girl is Lucia, because if that is true, you can dye her hair blonde or any other color, and if you don't keep up with it, it will just grow back into her natural hair color. And if you use nail paint on your character, you can actually see after a while it just wears and tears and it just kind of washes off over time. And all the pieces of clothing, both classy and not so classy, are looking so insanely detailed, and the variety feels like it's just infinite. I wonder how many shops there are gonna be, and if there's anything to go by with the leak that said it's gonna be 700 plus. I don't really see that as something surprising when you look at all of these customized pieces of clothing that you can purchase. And finally, let's talk about the free roam and exploration, where the NPC system also has a world events system where you have randomly triggered events that occur throughout the state of Leonida, requiring specific conditions to be met for them. So you need to be either Jason or Lucia, and you need to be like in this part of the story mode, and maybe you need to be in a cool car or something. And this is also an extension of that NPC system, but it's more scripted, so it feels more like a little story that is happening. It's kind of a small version of the Strangers and Freaks missions, but always super dope to do. I always loved these in Grand Theft Auto, and Red Dead Redemption for that matter. You can also explore underwater, of course, where there's underwater areas containing secrets and treasures that you might be able to find. And a lot of people who are doing the platinum 100% thing are gonna be in the sea for a long while, because with most games that have an underwater explorable thing, you are going to find a lot of collectibles there. And of course, we have all the unique locations, from the neon lit streets of Vice City to the wetlands of the Grass Rivers and the forgotten coast of Port Gellhorn. But if you want to know all about that, you can go and watch this video right here to get a little tour of the updated map. Thank you to all the members on screen. See you guys next time. Bye bye.